The Philippines is a nation of over 115 million people. They have survived typhoons that leveled entire cities, earthquakes that crumbled centuries-old churches, volcanic eruptions that buried towns in ash, a pandemic that shuttered their economy for 2 years. Through all of it, the Filipino people have remained standing, resilient, unbreakable. But on this day, on a sun-drenched grass court in Birmingham, England, something happened that made the entire nation lose its collective mind. Not in sadness, not in grief, in pure, unadulterated screaming from the rooftops joy. Alexandra Eala, their daughter, their champion, their symbol of hope, delivered a performance so insane, so unbelievable, so far beyond anything anyone could have predicted that the Philippines simply erupted. From the crowded streets of Manila to the remote rice terraces of Ifugao, from the bustling malls of Cebu to the quiet beaches of Palau, Filipinos stopped everything they were doing and watched. And when the final point landed, when Alex Eala raised her arms to the sky, the nation exploded. Tears, hugs, fireworks, songs, prayers. This was not just a tennis match. This was a moment that will be spoken about for generations. Today on TopSpin, we take you inside that insane performance, frame by frame, emotion by emotion. We show you exactly how the Philippines reacted in real time, and we explain why this moment will change Alex Eala's life forever. Subscribe to TopSpin for exclusive tennis coverage, historic match breakdowns, and the stories that make you feel something. Saturday, June 27, 2026, the semifinals of the Birmingham Classic. Center court at the Edgbaston Priory Club. The opponent is not a qualifier this time, not a lucky loser, not an unknown. The opponent is Liudmila Samsonova, world number 15, Russian powerhouse, 4-time WTA title winner, a woman who has beaten Coco Gauff, Maria Sakkari, and Belinda Bencic, a woman who hits the ball so hard that commentators joke she could punch a hole through a brick wall. On paper, this is a mismatch. Samsonova is bigger, stronger, more experienced, and ranked 14 spots higher than Eala. The betting odds have Samsonova as the heavy favorite. The tennis pundits have already written Eala off. One British commentator said before the match, quote, "Eala has had a wonderful run, but Samsonova is a different animal. This is where the fairy tale ends." The fairy tale did not end. It exploded. The match began at 1:30 p.m. local time. Eala walked onto the court wearing her green and yellow kit, the same colors as the Philippine flag. Her face was calm. Her eyes were focused. She did not look like someone who was about to face the biggest challenge of her career. She looked like someone who had already won. The first game, Samsonova serving. Boom, ace, 15 love. Boom, another ace, 30 love. Boom, a third ace, 40 love. The crowd gasped. This is what they were afraid of. Samsonova's serve is a weapon. It is big, it is accurate, it is demoralizing. But Eala did not look demoralized. She looked patient. She waited, she watched, and then at 40 love, Samsonova missed her first serve. Eala pounced on the second serve. She stepped inside the baseline and ripped a backhand return cross-court that Samsonova could only watch. 40-15, then another solid return. 40-30. Then a third return, this time a lob that landed perfectly on the baseline. Deuce. The crowd was on its feet. Samsonova looked confused. How was Eala doing this? How was she returning serves that had been unreturnable all tournament? The answer is simple. Eala had done her homework. She had watched hours of Samsonova's matches. She knew that Samsonova's second serve is attackable. She knew that if she could get the ball back deep, she could force Samsonova into uncomfortable rallies. And that is exactly what happened. Eala broke Samsonova in the very first game. The crowd erupted. The Filipino flags in the stands waved wildly. This was not supposed to happen. What followed was 87 minutes of the most brilliant tennis of Alexandra Eala's career. She did not just beat Samsonova, she dismantled her. The final score was 6-3, 6-2. Eala won 72% of her first serve points. She converted 5 of 7 break points. She hit 18 winners to Samsonova's 12. But numbers do not tell the full story. The story is in the moments. The backhand passing shot that Eala hit while falling down, the ball kissing the line by less than an inch. The drop shot that Samsonova didn't even bother chasing because she knew it was impossible. The lob that landed exactly where Samsonova was not standing. The serve on match point that Samsonova could only frame into the stands.
When the final point landed, Eala did not fall to her knees. She did not cry. She simply raised both arms above her head, looked up at the sky, and smiled. A peaceful smile. The smile of someone who had just done something she always knew she was capable of. The crowd gave her a standing ovation. The Filipino fans were in tears. Even Samsonova, gracious in defeat, hugged Eala at the net and whispered something in her ear. Later, Samsonova would tell reporters, quote, "She was unplayable today. I have lost to many players, but I have never felt so helpless. Alex was everywhere. She saw everything. I could not hide a single weakness."
Now let us travel 6,700 miles east, from Birmingham to Manila. The time difference is 7 hours. In Manila, it is 8:30 p.m., a Saturday night. Millions of Filipinos are at home, in bars, in malls, in their cars, watching the match on their phones. The Philippine Broadcasting Network, ABS-CBN, is airing the match live. The ratings are astronomical. According to data released after the match, over 35 million Filipinos watched at least part of the Eala Samsonova semifinal. That is nearly 1/3 of the entire country. To put that in perspective, the Super Bowl averages about 115 million viewers in the United States, which has a population 3 times larger than the Philippines. By percentage, more Filipinos watched this tennis match than Americans watched the Super Bowl. That is how big this was. What did it look like on the ground? Let us paint you a picture. At the SM Mall of Asia in Pasay City, the largest mall in the Philippines, management had set up 4 giant LED screens in the central atrium. Thousands of people gathered. They sat on the floor. They stood on balconies. They climbed on chairs. Security guards tried to maintain order, but gave up when they realized they were also watching the match. When Eala won the first set, the crowd screamed so loud that shoppers on the 3rd floor could hear it on the ground floor. When Eala broke Samsonova in the second set, someone started singing the Philippine national anthem. Within seconds, thousands of voices joined in. Strangers locked arms. People were crying. Not quietly, openly, unashamedly. At a small sari-sari store, a neighborhood convenience store in the Tondo district of Manila, one of the poorest areas in the country, a group of children had gathered around a small television. The store owner, a 60-year-old woman named Lola Nina, told a local reporter, quote, "These children have nothing, but when they watch Alex, they have hope. They believe that one day they can also be champions." End quote. When Eala won, Lola Nina gave every child a free bottle of soda. It was all she could afford. It was everything. On social media, the reaction was unprecedented. Twitter Philippines recorded over 4 million tweets about Eala in the 2 hours after the match. The hashtags Eala Win, Philippine Pride, and Alex Eala trended not just in the Philippines, but globally. The Twitter emoji for the Philippines, the 3 stars and a sun, appeared millions of times. Facebook feeds were flooded with videos of watch parties, reaction videos, and emotional posts. One post from a father in Cebu showed his 8-year-old daughter holding a makeshift tennis racket made from a fly swatter. The caption read, quote, "My daughter wants to be like Alex Eala. Today she started believing she could." End quote. That post was shared over 500,000 times. Even the Philippine government got involved. President Bongbong Marcos, who had already issued a statement after Eala's Birmingham title, issued another statement after the Samsonova victory. Quote, "Alexandra Eala continues to make the Philippines proud. Her performance today was not just athletic excellence, it was a demonstration of the Filipino spirit. We are all behind you, Alex." End quote. The Philippine Senate held a moment of silence before their session, not for mourning, for reflection. One senator said, quote, "We are silent because we are in awe. We have never seen anything like this."
The semifinal is over. The celebration has been wild, but there is no time to rest because the final is tomorrow, and the opponent is not just any opponent. The opponent is Katie Boulter, world number 22, British number 1, the home favorite, the woman who has the entire United Kingdom behind her. This is the final that everyone wanted, and it is the final that everyone fears. Boulter advanced to the final by defeating Russian veteran Ekaterina Alexandrova in a 3-set battle that lasted 2.5 hours. Boulter won 4-6, 7-5, 6-3. She was exhausted at the end, but she was smiling. The British crowd roared. They believe Boulter can win. They believe she can stop the Eala train. And on grass, against a British player in front of a British crowd, anything is possible. The matchup between Eala and Boulter is fascinating. They have played once before at the 2025 Eastbourne Open. Boulter won that match in 3 sets, but that was a different Eala. That Eala was ranked number 87. That Eala had never won a WTA title. That Eala had never beaten a top 20 player. This Eala is different. This Eala is confident. This Eala is battle-tested. This Eala has just dismantled the world number 15 in front of the entire world. This Eala is not afraid. The key to the final will be the crowd. Boulter will have the support of the Edgbaston Priory Club. Every point she wins will be cheered like a championship point. Every error Eala makes will be groaned. Eala has played in hostile environments before. The French Open fans, the controversy. She knows how to handle it. But this is different. This is a final. This is for a trophy. This is for history. Can Eala handle the pressure? She has proven that she can, but the final is the final. Anything can happen. Eala was asked after the semifinal how she felt about facing Boulter. Her answer was perfect. Quote, "I respect Katie. She is a great player and she has the home crowd behind her, but I am not playing against the crowd. I am playing against the ball, and I know how to hit the ball." End quote. That is champion mentality. Focus on the process, not the noise. Eala has learned that lesson well.
Let us take a moment to appreciate just how insane Eala's performance against Samsonova actually was, because if you only watch the scoreline, you might miss the details, and the details are what made this performance extraordinary. First, the return of serve. Samsonova is one of the best servers on the WTA Tour. She averages 10 aces per match. She wins 68% of her first serve points. Against Eala, Samsonova hit only 3 aces, and she won only 52% of her first serve points. Why? Because Eala was standing inside the baseline. She was taking the ball early. She was not giving Samsonova time to set up for her next shot. This is a high-risk strategy. If you stand inside the baseline against a big server, you will get hit by the ball sometimes. You will make errors, but Eala committed to the strategy, and it paid off. Second, the movement. Eala covered the court like a gazelle. There were points where Samsonova thought she had hit a winner, only to see Eala slide, stretch, and somehow get the ball back. One point in the second set went viral on social media. Samsonova hit a forehand into the open court. Eala was on the other side of the court. There was no way she could reach it, except she did. She sprinted, stretched her racket out, and flicked a backhand cross-court that landed inside the line. Samsonova could only stand and stare. The crowd erupted. That point alone was worth the price of admission. Third, the mental game. Samsonova is known for being emotionally fragile. When things go wrong, she loses focus. She starts arguing with her coach. She smashes rackets. Eala knew this, so she stayed calm. She did not celebrate excessively after winning big points. She just walked back to the baseline and got ready for the next point. That calmness, that lack of emotion, actually frustrated Samsonova more than any trash talk could have. By the end of the second set, Samsonova was muttering to herself. Her body language was defeated. Eala had won the mental battle before she won the physical one. This performance was not a fluke. It was not luck. It was the result of months of hard work, hours of video analysis, and a mental toughness that few 21-year-olds possess. Eala did not just beat Samsonova, she outclassed her. And that is why the Philippines erupted, because they witnessed something special, something that transcended sports.
The final is still to be played. The trophy is still to be lifted. But regardless of what happens against Katie Boulter, Alexandra Eala has already won. She has won the hearts of her nation. She has won the respect of the tennis world. She has won a place in history. And she has done something that no Filipino athlete has done in decades. She has unified the Philippines. The Philippines is a nation divided by politics, by poverty, by geography, by language. There are over 180 languages spoken in the Philippines. There are thousands of islands. There are rich and poor, Catholic and Muslim, urban and rural. But for 2 hours on a Saturday afternoon, none of that mattered. Everyone was Filipino. Everyone was cheering. Everyone was crying. That is the power of sports. That is the power of Alex Eala. What comes next for Eala? The final, first and foremost, then Wimbledon, then the US Open Series, then the US Open, and then perhaps Necker Island with Richard Branson. The future is bright, brighter than it has ever been. But no matter what happens on the court, Eala has already achieved something that cannot be measured in rankings or titles. She has given her people hope. And hope, in a country that has seen so much suffering, is the most valuable currency of all. There's a famous Filipino saying, "Ang hindi marunong lumingon sa pinanggalingan ay hindi makarating sa paruroonan." Translation, he who does not look back at where he came from will never reach his destination. Alex Eala has never forgotten where she came from. She carries the Philippines with her everywhere she goes, on her kit, on her sleeve, in her heart. And that is why the Philippines loves her. Not because she wins, because she remembers. The semifinal is over. The celebration continues. The final awaits.
and Alexandra Eala, the 21-year-old from Manila who dreamed of becoming a champion, is ready. The whole world is watching, the whole Philippines is praying, and Alex Eala is just getting started. Subscribe to TopSpin for exclusive tennis coverage, historic match breakdowns, and the stories that make you feel something. Join our community of tennis fans who never miss a moment.